Perfect. I count up so much money lately. I count up so much that they hate me. Yeah, I make niggas mad cause they ain't me. Yeah, I've been in my bag going crazy. I count up so much money lately. I count up so much that they hate me. Yeah, I make niggas mad cause they ain't me. Yeah, I've been in my bag going crazy. Bitch, I'm not. First don't fuck your bitch in the click you claim. West side when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on bad boys, niggas fuck for life. Plus, Puffy tryna see me weak, hearts I rip. Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia some more. I think a little higher. I think a little higher.
What's up? This we got back in the video. It's your boy P021. I just want to say welcome back to my channel. You know what I'm saying? How you guys doing? And I just want to say also if you're feeling happy or sad, then my experience should bring you joy. And also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Be posted share to all social media platforms. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell for future videos. And also get the P0 Gaming merchandise at teespring.com/P0Game. And I have a promo code too, welcome 25 in all caps, and the number 25, and you have to get 2 items for that code to activate. So this is gonna be my last reaction for today, and this is top 10 secret government projects that ruin lives. All right, so let's check it out.
Today we are looking at everything from unethical tests performed on innocent humans to people being tricked into experiments. Buckle your seatbelts, it's going to be a wild ride. Starting off this countdown, we have the Vipholm experiments. This was a series of experiments in Sweden from 1945 to 1955. It's literally going to make you sick to your stomach when you find out what they did. Basically, they force-fed people with mental illness sweets to see if sugar was related to tooth decay. Imagine people just cramming food down your throat against your will. It's very gross. These experiments were conducted by the government and sponsored by the sugar industry. The experiments lasted for about 2 years, and by then, the teeth of about 50 of the subjects in the experiment had been completely ruined. In our 9th spot, we had the...
Yeah, that's crazy because, like, it's like with the whole, I forgot his name. I think Charles Darwin, the person that was, experimenting like on dogs, and like I don't think it's Charles Darwin. Sigmund Freud or Fraud, I think that's his name. He was experimenting on dogs, and it wasn't like licensed or like legal. Like he was just doing that like of his own like scientific like studies and whatnot. So it's like the dogs didn't even sign up for that. So when you have like mentally like ill like people, and they didn't even sign up for it, they were just like forced like to do that. Like it becomes torture like in the process.
The UK Special Demonstration Squad. This is the name of a group of undercover police officers in the UK. Now, the things that they did are going to shock you. For example, they would steal birth certificates and identities of people that had died at a young age. They'd make sure that they would be around their age and then use their identities. The younger the person died, the better, because that means they didn't already live a life that they would have to cover up. And then they would go around with this new identity. Some cases they actually got into relationships with women, but the whole time they did so just to spy on them. In November of 2015, the Metropolitan Police Force apologized to 7 women tricked into relationships by these officers. Like, imagine that, dating someone you're madly in love with, sometimes even having a kid with them, only for them to be like, oh, sorry, gotta go, was only dating you to get intel on you and your friend circle. It's disgusting, and it's actually happened to multiple women. In our 8th spot, we have the radioactive waste. Apparently, there's a huge radioactive dumping zone located in Tonawanda, New York. In fact, they dumped more than 37 million gallons of radioactive waste from their World War II atomic bomb tests. This area has a high rate of cancer and thyroid conditions, and this is the reason why, and no one's talking about it. In our 7th spot, we have
Yo, I was thinking about my childish my childish accounts I was because I was about to be like, yo, do people like get powers like from all that radioactive waste? Because maybe it's because I watch too many like superhero like shows and Family Guy as well, where like that episode where like they basically like rolled around in toxic waste and they got powers. So I know it's not real, so like I'm just gonna just act like I didn't say that. Okay?
the hepatitis tests. In 1956, the US government began running tests on young individuals living at the Willowbrook State School in Staten Island. This was a state-supported institution for children with intellectual disabilities. And what they did to these students was give them hepatitis in order to track the development. And this was a state individuals living at the Willowbrook State School in Staten Island. This was a state-supported institution for children with intellectual disabilities. And what
Look, I'm not gonna say that all mentally like ill, like famous celebrities look alike, but that girl right there, she looks just like the girl that I watched in that Netflix original. It's called Never Have I Ever, and I'm talking about Paxton's sister. Like, don't tell me that this don't look like Paxton's sister, cause like it's like she has like that common face.
state-supported institution for children with intellectual disabilities. And what they did to these students was give them hepatitis in order to track the development of the viral infection. Of course, they were being experimented on without knowledge or consent. To make matters worse, the study lasted 14 years. They also injected them with a number of drugs to see what they would do to their body and the hepatitis. Imagine intentionally making a group of people sick for an experiment. The grossest part is that when
And then give them drugs to make them more sick. Like, what kind of test is that?
the government was exposed for this project, they tried to justify their actions by saying that these people were probably gonna wind up contracting it anyways. In our 6th spot today, we have Operation Popeye. This is another very wild one. Operation Popeye was a highly classified weather modification program during the Vietnam War from 1967 to 1972. You heard me correctly. The government learned how to control the weather. Basically, they wanted to increase rainfall in certain areas to prevent enemies and military supply trucks from being able to travel. In fact, they caused a number of landslides and flooding in that area. Weather manipulation has since been banned from use for military gain. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with HIV. In the 1980s, the HIV epidemic broke out. No one knew how it spread, they just knew that it should be feared, and tons of...
You talking about you don't know how HIV was... like, nigga, y'all niggas was smashing too much, and y'all didn't wear, like, protection, and that's how y'all got it. Like, that, like that's how HIV is, right? We telling the government, set it up, like, for people that, like, that are smashing, and, like, it's just, that's a fake, like, accusation.
The LGBTQ plus community members were sadly contracting the virus. Well, rumor has it that HIV...
And you see, like, they I don't know if it's true, but what they said about the monkeypox thing, like, they saying that the LGBTQT started it. Like, if they touch you, you're gonna get monkeypox. So that's why, like, I'm just not like believing that.
was a government experiment that was meant to wipe out the undesirables. Of course, the US government has denied this claim, and it's just a conspiracy.
I mean, look, with the government and like setting up like AIDS and HIV, like just trying to wipe out the undesirable. Like my nigga, Savage Carlson, he does not like the LGBTQ association. He calls it the alphabet. Okay, so if he was like, no, if this was true about like the government project about like them using inventing like the HIV or AIDS, like so that they could take out like the sus people, like my nigga would definitely sign up for that.
But based on the other experiments done on minority groups, it's hard to know what to believe. In our fourth spot today, we have Project 112 and Project SHAD, or SHAD. Project 112 and Project SHAD took place from 1962 to 1973 and involved a number of veterans or military personnel. Basically, both tests involved exposing these people to substances they might want to use in warfare. Nearly 6,000 people were exposed to Coxiella burnetii, which is Q fever, Staphylococcal enterotoxin B, which causes food poisoning, and sarin and soman gas. Sarin is a very, very dangerous nerve gas, and soman can cause death in minutes. Both can be fatal if only the tiniest amount gets on the skin. These men had no clue that they were being exposed to this. Moving on to number 3, we
You sure? But like it's like with that government project, it could have a different meaning with like they were trying to do those tests to be immune to it. Like it's the same thing with like venom, like trying to like poison you, or like different drugs that could kill you. Like they try and be immune to it. So like when they finally like no wait, I'm trying to say they're trying to be immune to it so that they have a better chance of surviving it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, of surviving it. Let's say like a viper or a python. Like if it comes to contact with biting you, like you could be immune to it because you already have so much like venom in your system already.
have Project Sunshine. This is another very messed up government project. During the 1950s, the US government was using stillborns to conduct radiation tests on. They wanted to determine the effects that radiation would have on humans and how much we could withstand in case of a nuclear fallout. They called this Project Sunshine, and it was anything but rainbows and sunshine. What's sad is that the government was stealing body parts and tissues from morgues without families' consent. It said that more than 1,500 samples were gathered worldwide. This is incredibly sad and sick. Coming in at number 2, we have the syphilis experiments. In 1932, the US Public Health Service created an experiment to see the health effects of untreated syphilis. But the test subjects were told that they were receiving free treatment to cure their syphilis. And that was a lie. Instead of giving the men the recommended penicillin treatment, they gave them placebos, like aspirin. Sadly, 28 men died of syphilis because of these experiments, 100 more passed away from syphilis-related complications, and 40 spouses contracted this disease. And 19 women who gave birth passed on syphilis to their newborn children. In 1997, Bill Clinton apologized to the survivors and their families on behalf of the government. And he admitted that the tests were, and I quote, profoundly and morally wrong. And in our number 1 spot today, we have the radiation tests.
No, he had to say it because, like, he's the president and he has a name to uphold. But, like, at the end of the day, he thinks he's trying to do right by the people. Like, seriously. So, and I was going to talk about like how I don't know if she mentioned this, but she talked like the whole thing about like the stem cells, like from newborn, like babies, like that they use that like to treat it. Like they take the stem cells from the newborn to treat something. I forgot what illness or what sickness, but it's like it seems similar to like what they were doing like with the people that had syphilis. Like they take stem cells like from newborn babies, and then they treat like some sort of sickness. I forgot the name.
In 1953, a number of tests were done on pregnant women to see the effects that radioactive iodine would have on them and their newborns. These studies were terrible. In one study, researchers gave these women doses of iodine 131. Sadly, they all miscarried. When they did, they continued to study the women's aborted embryos. Another study took place after World War II. 829 pregnant mothers in Tennessee were given vitamin drinks. They were informed that these drinks would improve their health and their babies. But it actually contained radioactive iron, and the researchers wanted to see how fast the radioisotopes crossed into the placenta. Several of the young passed away from these experiments. 4 died from cancers as a result of the experiments, and the women experienced rashes, bruises, anemia, hair and tooth loss, and cancer as well. Meanwhile, they just wanted the best for their babies and thought that this drink was going to help them, not kill them. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. It's pretty dark, not gonna lie. Pretty dark and messed up. But let's move on to our comment shout out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video Top 10 Time Capsules from History That Haven't Been Opened Yet, Part 2. His name, Hyphy, commented, "Hey Lindsay, hey, love you swag." Oh, thanks. Commenting.
Yeah, okay. Wait, that's it? This is a whole 2 minutes that she wasted talking about this one comment.
That's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe on us. So yeah, bye.
Alright, okay, so this was top 10 secret government projects that ruin lives. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought, like which one like out of these top 10 like really hit like your attention. And also yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We post shit to all social media platforms, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell for future videos. And also, it's your boy PJ21 signing off, and we're people again.
Bitches.